Reborn on the eve of my engagement. I got a photo of my fiancé being kidnapped. Come to Rose Road. I went for it, but I was humiliated all night. When I showed up with the police at the engagement party, my fiancé said just one word: dirty. Jack pulled out a video as evidence, saying I'd falsely reported to the police, and reluctantly agreed to marry me too. They all pointed fingers, calling me unfaithful. There was no place for my grievances. They even pushed me into the river, claiming it was suicide. I was reborn on Christmas Day. I was baking Benson's beloved turkey in the oven when he kept texting, saying he'd be right over. Jenny, there's something at the engagement party I need to handle first. Benson pulled me into his arms, kissed my forehead. Be a good girl and wait for me at home. I held back my disgust and subtly pushed him away. Just leave already. As soon as Benson left, I dumped the whole turkey into the trash. I didn't even like eating it. It's crazy to think I was so blinded by love in my past life that I compromised on even my food preferences. Just thinking about it makes me feel like I ate dirt. I wanted to slap myself, hoping to knock some sense in. Benson and I met through a classmate, and had been together for 3 years. He was always accommodating, doing everything a boyfriend should, so I planned to get engaged to him. But who would have thought, in my past life, I'd get that anonymous message saying he was kidnapped. I went alone and ended up getting humiliated. When I finally saw Benson, he didn't even care about me. He just said, "Do you deserve it?" completely crushing me. He never cared why I was there and just arrogantly blamed me. No one believed I went through that for him. Ding dong. The notification sound interrupted my rage. Just like last time. Come to Rose Road. The anonymous message pulling me into darkness arrived on schedule. The moment I got the text, I knew my revenge plan had started. Just like in my past life, I called them, sounding terrified. Who are you? Aren't you afraid I'll call the police? Silence for a moment on the other end. If you don't want him dead, do as I say. I hung up without replying. Just like before, I showed up as they asked, thinking I was some kind of savior for Benson. But forget it in this life. I put on a white tracksuit, a baseball cap, and headed straight for the police station. Hi, I want to report a crime. After I filed the report, I rode a cab straight to Rose Road. My palms were sweaty the whole way. I was worried if the first step of my revenge would work. As for any harm that might come, who cares? I don't know why I was so foolish in my last life, but this time, I'll get back everything I'm owed. When I reached Rose Road, I got another message. Go to the warehouse. It was a warehouse last time too, and I called for help, but nobody answered. This time, I had backup. I glanced at the cops following me from a distance, feeling reassured. Now, they're all witnesses. Reaching the warehouse entrance, I exaggerated my fear, trembling as I pushed the door open. The moment the door swung open, I heard heavy breathing inside. Just like last time, I was met with a group of men watching adult videos and then forced to be the star. I reflexively turned to run, but it was too late. A big guy at the door grabbed me, pulling me to the back of the warehouse. I didn't even need to pretend. I was already shaking. Jack, sitting in a chair, glanced at me and stood up. He threw his jacket on the ground. Please me, and I'll let Benson go. It was Jack last time. He started it. Seeing him again, my rage overshadowed my fear, and I kicked at him. But he grabbed my ankle, and I couldn't break free, no matter how much I struggled. He raised his hand, feeling his way up from my ankle, nice and soft, but I wonder. His comment elicited laughter from the surrounding men. They approached, preparing to do whatever they wanted. Jack had my leg pinned against the wall. I was slapping his face wildly. The more I resisted, the more excited he became. Bang! A loud crash as the door burst open. The police I had been waiting for were in. Jack's movements over me froze instantly. I whispered in his ear, only for the two of us to hear. Did you think I didn't know Benson's not here? Sure enough, anger took over him, and he started cursing. He even swung at my face, but someone stopped him mid-air. The police pinned him down as he panicked, explaining non-stop, "Officer, this is just a misunderstanding." Misunderstanding? Yeah, right, you wish. Caught red-handed. Tears welled in my eyes as I ran to the cops. "Officer, thank goodness you came in time. Justice is on my side." The gang members, who were so full of themselves moments ago, were all cuffed and led out to the police cars. The last one out was the leader. As he passed by, I gave him a kick. He limped out the door, glaring at me viciously. I quickly moved to the side. "Young lady, don't be afraid. We'll deal with these scumbags," one officer reassured me. I nodded, asking what was on my mind. "What about Benson? What'll happen to him?" "Other officers will handle it. First, let me take you to the hospital." Little did I know, another grand scene was about to unfold at the hospital. At the hospital, a doctor asked if I was feeling discomfort anywhere. I shook my head. In the blink of an eye, I spotted a familiar figure at the corner of the wall. My boyfriend, Benson. He was helping a woman in a hospital gown, who looked incredibly weak, practically leaning on him. They seemed very close. Memories of him leaving this morning flashed in my mind. He said he was going to handle arrangements for our engagement party. Is this how he handles it? In my past life, I suffered so much, and here he is all lovey-dovey with someone else. Unbelievable. I stood there, frozen, not moving an inch, even with the police officer trying to lead me away. She instinctively followed my gaze and then spoke up. "I haven't received news that Benson was rescued." I shook my head too. I only just found out that Benson was in the hospital. In a daze, the officer walked me right up to Benson. "Benson, right? Can I ask if you've been safely rescued?" Benson looked at me confused and said, "Rescue? Jenny, what's this game now? Can you just stop?" But before I could say a word, the woman next to Benson answered for me. "Benson, you should be with Jenny. After all, you're getting engaged tomorrow." She then smiled at the police officer. "Benson's just joking with Jenny." Her passive-aggressive demeanor made me want to lash out. That was Doris. She was the adopted daughter of Benson's family. Our families were close, and after her parents died in a car accident, Benson's family took her in. In my past life, I always thought of them as siblings, but after I was harmed with no help in sight, it was she who told me about evidence, which led me to the river. But when I got there, Jack pushed me in. Remembering it all, it's like a knife to my heart. How blind was I in my past life? Anger boiled inside me, and I took a step forward, slapping Benson across the face. Benson looked at me in disbelief, touching his right cheek. "What's wrong with you?" "I'm just desperate, thinking you'd been kidnapped." As I spoke, I started hitting him on the chest. My outburst drew attention from everyone around us. Hard to ignore now. It's emotional blackmail. Fine, I can do that too. I thought you were kidnapped, risking myself. And here you are, cuddling with her. Don't forget, we're getting engaged tomorrow. I pinched my leg secretly, using the pain to fuel my tears and words. People started looking at them. Benson looked furious and couldn't speak. Doris was crying softly in his arms. The more they reacted, the more satisfied I felt. "You think it's over?" "No way. I'm going to expose you so everyone knows what kind of lowlifes you two are." However, Benson had enough and tried to pull me away. I dodged and stood by the police officer. I looked at her and slowly said, "Officer, I suspect he's in cahoots with those scumbags." Sure enough, Benson's face changed, and he quickly defended himself. "Jenny, don't say such nonsense. I don't know those people." He sounded confident, but his body language told the truth. Plus, I caught him exchanging a quick glance with Doris. This convinced me that something was up between them. Benson had left me on the pretense of preparing our engagement, yet here they are. Whatever happened in between wasn't something he could just deny outright. I got it, and others would naturally get it too. The officer grabbed Benson's arm, asking for his cooperation in the investigation, getting ready to take him away. At this moment, Doris rushed to block them, saying, "Please, hold on. We were together all night. I'm a witness." She turned to me, eyes red as if I'd committed an unforgivable sin. Using just her words to stumble the other party, Doris incredibly turned the tables, making it seem like my jealousy was the real issue. Some people in the hallway started to gossip. "Young lady, aren't you going through with the engagement? There's a limit to jealousy." She set the stage, so of course, I'd play my role. I looked at Doris and slapped her. "Jealous? You call it jealousy, when it's a matter of life and death. Benson was kidnapped, and you said you were with him all night." I paused deliberately. "Doesn't that make you the kidnapper?" Her expression froze for a second, and she looked at me, panicked. I smiled. Was Doris about to confess her involvement? The officer glanced at me, signaling I should stop. I nodded, indicating I'd comply. But in reality, I knew Benson and Doris wouldn't get away. The police had stationed people to prevent any slip-throughs, so now, Benson and Doris were completely surrounded. Benson tried to approach me, but he was restrained, yelling, "Jenny, stop it. Are you calling off the engagement tomorrow?" "Engagement? Ha!" I let out a cold laugh. "Engaged to you. Dream on." But to keep my cover, I feigned affection. "Come back soon. Tomorrow's your big day." I watched as Benson and Doris got into the police car, ready to head home and recharge. Who would have thought that after taking just a few steps, I'd see a car parked by the roadside? Isn't that the engagement gift I gave to Benson? In my last life, to prove my love for him, I spent most of my savings to buy the car for Benson. It had only been a few days since it was delivered. No doubt, Benson drove it here. A good horse deserves a good saddle, but that jerk driving such a nice car. What a waste. I thought about it and grabbed the car key from my bag. I wouldn't have known if I didn't open the car door, but once I did, I was shocked. It was all decked out in fresh, cute girly decorations, with a few lipsticks in the glove compartment. Turns out Doris and Benson never tried to hide anything. I thought they really had that siblings from another mother kind of relationship. Clearly, I was naive. This was their way of marking territory. Just thinking about it made me furious. I had to see what they were doing in the car. Immediately, I searched for the hidden dashcam I spent a lot of money on. This car has been with Benson for less than a week, and I hadn't even mentioned the dashcam to him. Perfect. Now it serves my purpose. Let's see what surprises might be in there. I started playing the footage backward. I was so mad I punched the steering wheel. In my last life, I was so innocent and ended up losing everything. Last time, when I went to Rose Road alone, I was bullied by those people. And what were these two doing at the time? Engaging in R-rated scenes in the car I bought. I felt an urge to stab them, but I held back. Ending them that easily would be too kind. I want them to go through everything I did. I want them to fall into hell. Tomorrow's engagement party will be where it all begins. I slept well through the night, only to be awakened by a phone call the next morning. I groggily picked up the call. "Jenny, it's your engagement day today. Can you keep track of time?" the voice said. I opened my eyes and saw the caller ID. It was Benson's mother. She didn't sound particularly pleasant, even a little accusatory. Clearly, she has no idea Benson and Doris are at the police station. So I just replied, "Oh, got it." Benson's mother wanted to scold me a bit more, but I hung up before she could say anything. If it weren't for her call, I might have missed today's show. After getting ready, I drove over to the engagement hotel. The moment I walked into the hall, someone rushed over to me. It was Benson's mother, angrily questioning me. "Why are you only showing up now? Where's my son?" I feigned innocence and said, "He mentioned something about a problem with the engagement and left. Didn't he go home?" But after hearing that, her expression changed, and she quickly changed the topic. "He was at a bachelor party with friends last night. Anyway, never mind that. Look at you. Hurry up and get your makeup done." I just smiled. In my last life, I poured out my heart to her and treated her like my own mother. What a joke. Now, she knows Benson didn't come home and is still covering for him. If it weren't for wanting to know Benson's whereabouts, I'd have been fooled by her attitude. To avoid alerting anyone, I acted like I was going along with it and went off to do my makeup. But in truth, I was thinking Benson and Doris should be released from assisting in the investigation soon. They'll undoubtedly show up. I just need to be patient and wait. Once I finished my makeup and dressed up, I stepped out to find a group chatting in the banquet hall. Seeing me come out, Benson's mother switched from her usual critical self to being chatty, talking about how, after today, she'd treat me like her own daughter, and how I should come to her if I'm ever wronged. Like, duh, that's just sweet talk, because she hasn't been able to reach Benson, trying to keep me calm. But I didn't fall for it, and immediately rejected the idea, saying, "Auntie, you're too kind. By the way, have you seen Benson?" She stiffened for a moment, but quickly regained her usual expression saying, "That kid must have stayed up late with excitement yesterday, and got caught in traffic." "Really? Then let's wait for him. He'll definitely come," I said. My words made Benson's mother's face look a bit awkward. I want to see when this intriguing show will start. I even played the role of the future bride-to-be, mingling among the guests and occasionally explaining on Benson's behalf that he got too excited at last night's bachelor party and to please forgive him. Meanwhile, Benson's mother kept apologizing, saying her son is too young. Minutes ticked by and the auspicious time was running out. Discussions began to rise in the hall. Seeing this, Benson's father started inviting everyone to be seated for the meal. However, the hall doors were suddenly pushed open. Benson walked in, holding Doris's hand. I chuckled to myself. Just as I expected, this was going to be interesting. He spotted me and, after a brief pause, started yelling furiously, "Jenny, do you think you're worthy of being engaged to me?" History was repeating itself, but I wasn't really bothered. This was all for revenge, and I pretended to be deeply hurt, letting tears well up in my eyes, like I was heartbroken or something. As expected, Benson's father immediately reprimanded him. "The engagement ceremony is about to start. Why are you only getting here now?" I seized the chance to add fuel to the fire and discreetly pinched my thigh, letting tears roll down. "Uncle, if he doesn't want to, let's not." Right away, everyone around started comforting me. Who doesn't know how to play the victim? The more heartbroken I seem, the worse they look, which sets a perfect stage for my revenge plan. At this moment, Doris, who was holding Benson's arm, suddenly spoke up. "Jenny, don't blame Benson. He and I were together last night. I'll talk to him in a few days." As soon as she said that, the whole hall was in shock. Thanks to my earlier embellishments, everyone thought Benson had simply partied too hard with his buddies and was late. But Doris' explanation, that was basically an admission. People began looking between Benson and Doris with sympathetic glances falling on me, presumably guessing what happened between them. Benson glared at me, his face dark. "Jenny, stop playing innocent. You got us thrown in jail last night. This isn't over." He laid it all out on the table. "Well, that certainly saved me some effort. I was trying to help you. You said there was a problem with the engagement party and went to handle it. Next thing I know, I get news you were kidnapped. I called the police to save you and they caught those kidnappers. But where were you? You were with your sister. How else was I supposed to protect you?" My words stirred whispers among the crowd, and I just calmly watched the scene unfold. Sure enough, Benson's father banged the table and stood up, shouting, "You miserable wretch. Jenny saved you, and you want to break the engagement." Even Benson's mother tried to mediate, reaching out to hold my hand with one and pull Benson with the other. Yet Benson stood there stubborn as a rock. Furious, Benson's father slapped him hard. The sound echoed through the hall, silencing everyone, and Benson apologized to me under his father's angry gaze. "Jenny, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. Let's get engaged now." Seeing his pitiful state, I felt absolutely pleased. Feigning surprise, I said, "Really? But will you regret it?" I made sure to emphasize regret heavily. Benson immediately dropped to one knee, promising, "Jenny, I love you. Please marry me." It was such a joke. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. This farce was over. I pretended to wipe away tears, then mustered all my strength, shouting, "Benson, you wanna get engaged? Who do you think you are?" That's what I really wanted to say. I threw Benson's words from the past right back at him. In the past life, I barely made it to the engagement hotel after escaping from Rose Road, only to see Benson and Doris walking down the red carpet. They were blessed by everyone, the perfect couple. Benson had looked at me then and merely said, "Jenny, you want to get engaged? Who do you think you are?" But this time, I played the weak to defeat the strong, and it worked perfectly. Seeing the disbelief on everyone's faces and Benson's furious expression told me I did it right. Smirking, I turned to leave. Benson's mom hurried after me. "Jenny, it was all Benson's fault. But you can't just disregard the feelings of elders like this." Feelings? When you've acted like that, why care about saving face? They were thrilled last time, advising me that Benson and Doris were childhood sweethearts, and claimed I was the one interfering. As if during an engagement, I was looking for something new. Why bother with face if you're just getting slapped? I kept walking without stopping, but Benson's voice called out again. "Jenny," I said, "we're getting engaged now." I laughed at his authoritative tone, like if marrying him was a favor. He was still dreaming. Fine, I'd help him wake up a little more. I stopped and turned around. "You really want to get engaged? Perfect. I've got a video to commemorate today." I inserted a disc into the projector, cranked up the volume, maximized the screen, and hit play. On screen, Benson was undressing Doris in the passenger seat, and she wasn't resisting. After things heated up in the video, I had highlighted the time in big bold letters, helpfully captioning it, just so everyone would know about Benson and Doris. So everyone would see when I got news of Benson's kidnapping, he was actually bedding a woman. As for my life-saving act, all it got was betrayal. The poor hypocrite still pretended, talking about engagement with me. Benson's family watched the footage, their faces pitch black, his mother wide-eyed like saucers. They couldn't believe the stars of the show. Benson and Doris, do you know that you're siblings? Mom, I love Doris. We're not actually related. Watching him, my smile grew wider. This was the truth. I wanted everyone to know about them. Sure enough, with his mother and son duo yelling, everyone's expressions turned awkward, their whispers hinting at making a quick exit. Today's scandal was surely enough. I planned to add fuel to the fire, but my own dad, who was quietly watching, finally spoke up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's raise a glass to Benson's family's self-produced engagement party. Cheers. It's the first time I've heard my dad be so biting. He could verbally grind them into dust. Last life, he blamed me for foolishly falling into their trap, accusing me of coming to the engagement shamelessly, even renouncing me as his daughter. But now, he stood with me, alongside me in a fight. I left the engagement party, smiling all the way. That day, I set Benson up in front of Jack. Now that the kidnapping was exposed, businesses that used to cooperate with Benson's family are backing off. After all, Jack is the son of a big shot in the industry, and now that he's busted, he's definitely going to seek revenge. Wanna come after me? Sorry, I'm a freelancer, and my dad's got that stable government job, so they can only go after Benson's family. As for Doris, she had a crazy admirer before, but ever since that engagement video was leaked, she went from being a first love to a despised homewrecker. She's not having a great time either. But just when I thought Benson's family would lie low for a while, a week later, Benson came knocking on my door. His usual cold arrogance was gone, replaced by extreme humility. Jenny, that day was really a misunderstanding. Jack and they were just drunk on Rose Road, just trying to meet you. You always wanted to meet my friends, right? It was wrong of them yesterday. A misunderstanding, huh? Sure, let's see how you can spin this. I was shaking with anger, wishing I could stab him right there. But I held back, keeping the act, wanting to know more about what really happened. As we had this tense standoff, I gestured for him to explain. Sensing I was a bit receptive, Benson opened up. Doris, she was the one who seduced me. It held things up. Jenny, I messed up. Can you give me another chance? As he spoke, he slowly moved closer, clearly hoping to come inside and have a deeper conversation. He wants small talk. Dream on. Don't think I don't know you both have been sneaking around. And now, you've weighed your options and ditched her, right? I sneered while glancing over at the posturing Benson. Since you're the one handing yourself over, I'll take this goodie bag. With that, I grabbed a mop from the corner and slammed it into his knees. Crawl away. I assumed that'd make him back off. Just an hour later, back inside writing, I got a message from my dad. Holy cow, talk about karma. He said after leaving my place, Benson got into a car accident on his way home. Now Benson's family wants me to visit him at the hospital. I agreed. If I could see him bite the dust, I'd be over the moon. I found his room quickly enough. The 3 Benson family members were there, no sign of Doris. Benson's mom saw me and clung to my arm. Jenny, thank heavens you're here. Benson kept calling your name. It was all a misunderstanding before. It's Benson's fault. He shouldn't have argued with you. And that's why the accident, I scoffed. That's your plan. Use a car accident to try and guilt trip me. It's too simple. Let's see what other games you have up your sleeve. Just then, unconscious Benson opened his eyes. Jenny, my God, could he act any worse? After all, he went through resuscitation, and is shouting like nothing happened. So, I pointed to the sign, gently reminding, no shouting in the recovery room. That's when it hit him. He pretended to be seriously injured, grabbing his leg, making a fuss. Especially when he started to whimper. Jenny, I knew you cared about me. We'll get the license the moment I'm out. Right, now he knows to cherish you. We're family now. Jenny, I know you mean well, but Jack's my bro, and his family's our business partner. one line after another from all sides. Seriously, they were waiting here for me, using Benson's accident to push the blame, hoping I'd reconcile with Jack. Thanks, but no thanks. And I wasn't about to hold back anymore. Your family has some nerve. Your son messing with his adopted sister, and then using the accident to corner me. You think I'm an idiot? That shut the room up. Benson was stunned. We just wanted. You want me to marry Benson, reconcile with Jack, and make nice between our families. Did I cause the accident? Did I send Benson after me? Do you really think I'm buying your lies? You're dreaming if you think I'm going for it. Benson couldn't keep the act any longer. He climbed out of bed and charged at me. Shut that damn mouth of yours. Seeing him charge at me, I quickly retreated, bumping into a male nurse pushing a cart. He blocked Benson's swing, aiming for me. What came out of that guy's mouth was enough to shock me forever. Seriously, folks, a scrape and you need a hospital stay. Now you're making noise like this. You think the hospital's your home, wasting medical resources. Wow, that's a bold move. I whipped out my phone and showed them the chat screenshots. Weren't you saying Benson nearly died, and it was my last chance to see him? What? Are you all just a bunch of drama queens? Benson family's faces turned green. I barely held my laughter back, while kindly urging them not to waste medical resources. Such shameful behavior. Instantly, the other folks in the room gave me nods of approval. Ignoring their relentless explanations, I left without a backward glance. Yet, just as I reached the hospital parking lot, someone dashed over, grabbing my arm. Jenny, we need to talk. It was Doris. Her face was pale, clothes a bit disheveled, clearly anxious. I looked at her with sarcasm. Talk about what? How you two dirted my car. What I didn't expect was her reaction, no tantrum. Instead, she handed me a stack of photos. I flipped through them. All of them were snapshots of Benson and Jack together. These were secretly taken, and those scenes, I'll never forget. They are from the day things went wrong in my past life. I invited her into my car. Doris remained quiet the entire drive. Clearly, something had happened to her. We drove until we reached a quiet, remote area before she finally spoke up. Jenny, only you can save me. They're going to sell me to Jack's family. They want me to have Jack's father's child, and then when Jack gets out, I'll marry him. That was completely unexpected. From what I remembered, Jack's parents treated Doris like their own daughter. How could they do this now? Fearing I wouldn't believe her, Doris tried hard to explain. She said she was kicked out after her affair with Benson was exposed. Today, she almost got taken away by Jack's family. If they are gonna treat me like that, then I won't hold back. I'll make them pay. I have evidence of Benson and Jack's collusion, but I need you. You give me money, and I'll leave the country. When she mentioned evidence, my heart skipped a beat, and I almost agreed on the spot. But I knew I couldn't give in too quickly. So, I stayed silent. After a while, unable to keep quiet, she spoke again. 800,000. If you don't want to help, I'll destroy the evidence and disappear. But will you just let it all slide like that? Okay. But I need to see the goods first. Doris pulled out a laptop from her bag and hit play. The video showed Benson, Jack, and others discussing how to stage a kidnapping photo, how to send me messages. Benson even said Jack should meet me to keep things from getting too crazy. My face turned pale as I watched. I'm not stupid. I understood the implications of the video. My hero saves the day moment was a trap they set for me. After escaping from Rose Road, Benson quickly changed his fiancé. That person was Doris. Benson, oh, Benson, your move was really clever. Pretend to be engaged to me, then work with Jack to ruin me and marry your true love, Doris. And Jack, he's happy as long as his goddess marries her true love. But what about me? After endless questioning without results, Jack even lied, saying I was into his family and tried to seduce him, but he could still marry me. So everyone wins. Then later, I wanted to grab a machete and cut them down. But it wasn't the time yet. The burning sensation in my palm reminded me to stay calm and not let Doris see through me. After a while, I transferred the money to her account. Doris saw the alert, tossed me the laptop and disk, and got out of the car, saying, "Pleasure doing business." I watched her walk away and let out a cold laugh. She thought it would all go smoothly. Pleasure doing business. My enemies, do you really think you can escape? After parting with Doris, I didn't wait. I accidentally posted a photo of Doris leaving on Twitter with the caption, "Hope everything goes well for you abroad." And of course, the post was hidden from Doris. Next, I took the fresh evidence, along with the dashcam video, to the police station where I had reported the case before. The evidence was solid. I even kindly directed them to Jack's house. At that time, Jack's family was excited to see me, thinking I had a change of heart. "What imagination, Jenny, you came to your senses," I chuckled. "Benson, your face would be perfect for guarding a city. Am I, like, your trash can, and you expect me to take you back?" Hearing my blunt words, they tried to push me out of the room. However, I snorted. "I just remembered, there's a gift I forgot to give you. I forgot to give you a pair of silver bracelets." Jack's family looked confused. The next second, the police rushed in. "Police, you're under arrest for your involvement in the Rose Road case." They swiftly arrested Benson and took him away, ignoring his mother's cries. Now, Jack's parents were panicking. I pretended to ask about Doris not being there. I watched Benson's mother's face change. "Get out, get out, get out." She was so furious she was about to break her teeth. "If she wants to leave the country, let her. What's it to you, you jinx?" So, Doris was likely at Jack's house. Perfect. My accidental Twitter post wasn't in vain, because I handed over the evidence to the police. They needed to conduct interviews with relevant people. As a law-abiding citizen, I brought the mastermind Doris into the spotlight. But, there was an unexpected turn. No one anticipated that Doris would disappear at that moment. Because of this, my submitted evidence was stuck in limbo. That wasn't acceptable. I redirected the trouble. I need to provide a lead. Doris extorted me and planned to flee. After hanging up the call, a smile crept across my lips. None of those who hurt me get away. All I need to do now is wait for justice to be served. But I didn't expect the wait to last a week. A week later, I got a call that Doris had been found. I heard that Benson's parents had sent her to Jack's father's place, where she was tortured to the brink of death, until she called the police for help. She was rescued and they had enough evidence to prove it. She was still daydreaming about her future, but she was bound to face prison soon, because extortion is a crime anywhere, not to mention withholding information. Along with her, Benson's parents and Jack's father also ended up in handcuffs. I guess that's what they call karma. Suddenly, with their fall, Jack's family and company went bankrupt. It even made it onto our local news as a cautionary tale. I dressed up and attended the trial of the Rose Road case. Seeing Benson and Jack, without their previous arrogance, looking guilty and resigned, was something I never thought I'd witness. I even stood up and clapped when the verdict was announced. Benson looked at me, full of regret. I just said 2 words. "Serves you right." My grudge was finally settled. The chains that held me down since my rebirth were finally broken. From now on, my real rebirth begins. The end.